Happy Sunday. Oh, goodness gracious. I am going to whip up a giant lasagna. It's funny how certain ingredients come into your life when you least expect it, and I had all the fixings. The ground beef was a great sale, so I kind of stocked up on that, and this makes this dish makes far more than we could eat, just the two of us. So one of my favorite things to do when I make a lasagna is I love to share it. So I'm going to give some to my neighbors and also have give some to my daughter's teachers. Just a way of showing a little love from the kitchen. But yeah, everybody benefits. It's all tasty. I have not made a lasagna in a couple of years, mostly because of fridge space, really. I oftentimes will freeze. I'll prepare it and then I'll freeze, or I'll prepare it in two different pans. Freeze one of the pans and in on parchment in the container that I intend to cook it in, and then bag it up and keep it in the freezer for a later time. So that's always a nice possibility. This time I'm going all out. I hope this Sunday finds you well wherever you are in the world.
I hope it snows.
I hope it does too, but I think we're in for rain, sweetness. Yeah. Yeah, kiddo has been pretty delighted about the snow that we've been having. But it looks, well, the temps are definitely warming up, so we're only expecting rain today. So lasagna is certainly a big process and takes a lot of advanced prepping. The easiest part is putting it all together. So I'm just going to get going on this, starting with the sauce. It's quite like my marinara sauce, but then also not, because I add a lot more tomato paste in lasagna sauce because it just, helps it hold its shape. I always play a game when it comes to lasagna, just like pies. I like them to be able to stand up when it's cut. And this is probably going to be a really deep dish lasagna. I do. I make a game of it because it's fun. It's a fun challenge. So we have for the sauce, let's see, I'm adding things a little prematurely. We have 56 ounces of tomato sauce going in. I am going to actually put some diced tomatoes in with the juice to substitute one of the cans, just to give it a little bit of tomatoey goodness. And as I recall, last time I made this, the portioning was spot on. So hopefully I get there again. So we have mushrooms going in as well, some basil, and salt, and some garlic.
So, if you want the best deal on the best TVs, then we should take our TV ratings and head over to Top Rated Video Only. At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't...
I hate to say it, but I was feeling much better, and towards the end of the week my energy got sapped again, and so I'm back down to about 85% energy. Hopefully a good night's sleep tonight can recharge the body. I do have an appetite, which is a positive thing. This week the kiddos are off for school for midwinter break. So we're going to be nice and busy with activities this week. So I made the soup, the German potato soup, the other day. We're going to be finishing that off. This special that I found with the ground beef is It was 3.5 pounds of ground beef for $7, which was incredible. I don't think I've seen this for years. And so I'm going to use a pound of that for the lasagna, and then also a pound for some tacos a little bit later this week. And I'm not quite sure yet what I'm going to do with the remainder. So stay tuned for that. Part of me wants to do a meatloaf. That probably will be a good thing. I'm on with the down with the comfort food these days. All right. I usually do add a little bit of olive oil and garlic to start the pan off, but I did not this time around. Jumped the gun a little bit, adding the sauce. So in goes a couple of tablespoons of olive oil, and we'll pop in some garlic. So 2 tablespoons of olive oil and 1 teaspoon minced garlic. Woo! And here we go. That smells wonderful. You know, people have that 30-second rule. When something falls on the ground, you have 30 seconds to pick it up. It's still good. Well, it seems like I have a 30-second rule in my kitchen, on my kitchen countertops, which means it's clear and clean for 30 seconds, and then I start cooking. So this dish alone, this meal alone, is going to cover the counter again, but I am just fine by that. Oh, a bit of a stubborn. Go. So we're also going to add 24 ounces of tomato paste. This tomatoey flavor is really going to pop. And this is my recipe for lasagna. I've certainly tried a lot of different recipes over the years, but somewhere along the line, about 20 years ago or so, I landed on this and have not looked back. It's kind of got that beautiful combination of ground beef as well as mild Italian sausage. I do quite enjoy the tomatoey flavor. I know it's going to be a good cook when Tom Petty is on the radio. I don't know if you caught that a little earlier, right when I went live here. Love Tom Petty. Tom Petty always brings back memories of traveling in southern Utah, especially at the sunset. Magnificent desert sunsets. Driving through Red Rock country. Just absolutely sublime scenery. But Tom Petty has long been synonymous with camping for me. 6 or 7 years in front of a TV. Not me. I don't know where things changed, but I actually am an avid reader, and it is rare for me to even be in front of a TV for an hour a week, especially these days. And I'm just fine with that. Now, music, that's another story. That is on almost constantly, if not on a machine in my head. Nah, that means just like you, I have music going through my mind almost all the time. It's always been that way. Alright, the tomato sauce and paste is in. You're gonna see that make it nice and thick. Hi Grayson, how are you? I am doing great today. Life is good when you're whipping up some goodness in the kitchen. Hi Kat, cheers. Where are you folks from? It's always interesting to see where people are in the world. We're making a lasagna here. Getting started on the sauce first. Okay. Now this is where things are definitely different than my marinara sauce. We're going to have 4 tablespoons of basil. 2 teaspoons of salt. Woo! I'm going to drop the heat so that doesn't splatter. 2 teaspoons of salt. This song also brings back a memory of my little sister's wedding reception. This song came on, and my sister was a sorority girl, Pi Phi, and so were my other sisters actually. I was not. This song is apparently a theme song for their sorority, and yeah, just they took to the dance floor and did their thing. It was a synchronized dance, kind of quite something to witness. Okay, mushrooms. Try to get the mushrooms in wherever I can. Good old vitamin A. Just going to go with a can of 4-ounce can here. Nice hearty layer. See how thick it is? Okay. So with that, I am going to transition to back burner. It's nice and ready to go. I'm going to actually cover this and bring it to a simmer for 30 minutes. So that will be going on in the background. Okay. Now it's time for the meat. So again, we have a pound of ground beef, a pound of ground Italian sausage. You can add just a skosh of salt. Let's see, a half teaspoon of salt, a quarter teaspoon of ground black pepper. Set that out to the back here. Uh-oh. A fort's happening. Don't hang anything off of the TV. Because it could... No. That's a rule. Do you need the clips? Well, give it a little bit of time and that'll be fixed. I have a feeling once I'm finished getting this ready,
It will be fixed.
yep. So put it down. We don't want the seal to break. Put it down, please.
Is it ready?
Not yet.
Do you know?
How do I know that?
Yeah.
Because I read the package.
Why is this right?
Just to kind of keep it out of the way. There we are. My kiddo has this really cool teepee. I've had it since, well, I bought it when she was 1 year old, and kiddo was over at the house, neighbor kiddo, and he climbed on it and it broke one of the legs. So
Somebody broke it, not me.
well, I know it was an accident, but
No,
I found some special glue to fix it. So I spent the morning at the hardware store looking at our options to repair the teepee. And I think it'll work. But of course we're counting down for the glue to cure. I guess it wasn't so much a glue as it is an epoxy. Works with PVC plastic. Most people do not know this about me, but there were quite a few years where I had a home, a house, and a pretty good amount of property outside, and I admittedly had a Home Depot problem, which meant I spent more money on Home Depot than anywhere else, and I liked it. It was certainly fun to do all these different kinds of home improvement projects, so over the years I've picked up a lot of different skills that I never would have foreseen for myself. Done a lot more demolition than I ever would have imagined as well. Always loved painting, to freshen up a space, but yeah, that big deal sledgehammer type of work, tiling, putting up drywall. I've even done some plumbing, and that is not something I would ever wish on anyone, for me to work on their plumbing. It was not pretty. You ever heard of a W trap? Well, it's because it doesn't exist, and for good reason. The U-trap is the standard for plumbing, but the space I was working with did not really allow for a U, so I went with a W, and that poor drain just never really functioned well. Didn't really have much of a choice, though. I was involved with a project where the upstairs of a 2-bedroom, or let's see, it was a 3-bedroom home. The upstairs was where the 2 bedrooms were. You had stairs that went up to the bedrooms, and the stairs were taken out, and there was a hole in the ground with a fire ladder. That's how you would access the space. That was really tricky, carrying supplies and everything up the fire ladder, but oh, it worked. But basically, we turned that 2-bedroom space into a 1-bedroom apartment, complete with a kitchen, full kitchen, and bathroom. No, I am talking about another place that I always called the rental. I was involved with the project, but never really did experience the fruits of the labor, which was the income that came from that project. But I do have the memories. I look back now, and I think that was going on when I was in my late 20s, and I was so strong. I remember hefting a sheet of, well, again, the only way you could access the upstairs was through the hole in the floor with the fire ladder, but there was also an exterior door where you could walk out onto the roof. Not those plates, honey. Those can chip. But you could walk out of this door to nowhere, was what we called it, and walk out onto the sloped roof, and that's how we got the fridge in there, the toilet, all the dry rock, or sheetrock, everything that couldn't fit through that little hole. But yeah, I was super strong back then, and I just remember lifting these sheets of sheetrock over my head and handing them to the person, pivoted on the roof. People I did this project with, they were fire jumpers, if you know what that is. They were wildland firefighters, and no stranger to heights and weird angles, and construction for that matter. So it was quite an experience. It ended up being beautiful too. A lot of work. Oh, memories. I'm going to go ahead and time that sauce. Again, it was about 30 minutes. I'm hearing it boil now, so I'm going to drop it down to a low heat to simmer for 30 minutes. Give it a stir every once in a while, and I'm going to bump up the heat on this meat. Oh, one particularly fun aspect of this rental project was repurposing materials. That was pretty fun. So the fence that was surrounding the property was pretty mangled, rotten in a lot of areas. And so what I did was it was beautiful wood, beautiful lumber. So I planed down the lumber on all sides before I stained it, and from that we were able to make all the trim for the apartment, as well as all the railings for an exterior 2-story patio, basically a wooden patio. That was a substantial project. We built that in one day, actually. Everything, all the pieces were ready to assemble, and a person who knew how to cut stairs cut out the pieces for the stairs, and then the next morning there was a whole slew of fire jumpers who showed up. I fed them, and then we went to building, And by the end of the day at sunrise, I was touching up the rails. Second coat of stain. And that's it after what? 8 months of that, 9 months on that project of walking, climbing up through the fire with the fire ladder. After 9 months, we were able to use proper stairs. Then we moved out of that place, rented it out, and moved into the place next door, and that was another project. I haven't thought about this in so long. Kind of a, sometimes in life we take unexpected detours. And for me, that was certainly an unexpected detour. It was after the Great Recession in '08 when I did that. There were no jobs to be found. And even being a teacher, they froze all the substitute roles, so even teachers were getting laid off, and you couldn't find a job. And so basically for 2.5 years, that's when I started my freelance writing business and did that on the side, and also spent a good balance of my time contributing to these construction projects. For a person that spent a lot of time in school or behind a desk in an office, it was quite lovely to work with my hands like that. Very hard on my body too. My hats off to folks who do that every day, their entire lives. But I'm glad that I have the skills and knowledge, more than what's typical, I think, to be able to handle some things pretty easily. And I think it's kind of fun and interesting too, as things break or things need to be fixed or there's troubleshooting of that nature around our apartment. I love to be able to show my kiddo that, yeah, you can do this. Let me explain this. Let me show you how it's done. But I will also teach her, if plumbing goes wrong, call a plumber. Same with electrical too. Call an electrician. That is voodoo that I was not keen to touch. You're looking good with the meat. Salt and pepper going in here. The sauce is stir.
Mommy,
Yes, love.
where are the Christmas lights?
They're up on the wall.
No. Where are it? Remember, like, my tiny cat lights? Cat faces?
Didn't some of those lights break?
Oh, hi, Cat. You remember the bed that I joined?
Oh, you did?
And
You did? You joined it for a little cat nap?
yeah.
Oh, that's lovely. Well, yeah, it must be, because he's in here for a nibble. It was. Cool.
Yeah, but Mom,
We have 1
where
half teaspoon
are
of salt
the
going in.
Christmas lights? Besides the ones that are on the wall,
The only ones we have left are on the wall.
then can we take it down?
I can't right now, Bubby. Oh my, that's a lot of salt. We only want 1/4. Or pardon me, pepper.
Whoa, did put too much salt in it.
I know. We don't need too much salt.
Or too much sprinkles.
Or too much sprinkles, yes. Woo.
I think extra salt meat might be extra good though. I
Oh,
like
yeah.
extra salty meat.
You do? Oh, ow. Let's not cough into that. We don't want that to splatter on your sweet face. That's hot grease, Bubby. Smells good?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to like that. That is ground beef
I
and
wanna
some
pick out
Italian. Watch yourself. Yeah, it's way too hot. And it's not all cooked yet, baby. I'll let it. No, watch your little mitt. Watch your little mitt. Here, I'll get you a spoon. Hold on. Okay, blow, blow, blow. Hold it, and blow. There we go. What do you think? Yeah, that hits the spot. Wait till you have this lasagna. You're just going to flip your lid. You were barely just eating food like regular soft and hard, big kiddo food last time I made this. Yeah?
Nom nom.
Oh, kitty, would you open that, please?
Mama.
Oh, thank you. All right, heat is off. All right. Hey, kitty. Okay, we'll go ahead and whip up the ricotta layer. You want a pound
Mommy,
of ricotta. Yes, honey.
can I get more meat?
Watch your mitts. I could put a little bit in there for you.
Yummy meat.
I got you.
Yummy.
Oh, that's nice to hear.
Yummy.
I love it when she nibbles as I'm cooking. Is that a good start?
Yeah.
Okay, be sure to blow, blow, blow.
Okay, but Mom, when are you gonna take the lights out?
When I am finished cooking, when this is in the oven. All right. Go ahead and
Mom, maybe people don't like those because
say again, lovey.
maybe people don't like those because I cracked them.
Oh, no worries. Gosh, these eggs. I had the same problem the other day. Shells. They were just purchased, but they're old. Okay. Let's switch this back to this burner. Woo! Haven't heard that song in a long time. Use Your Illusion, Guns N' Roses.
It's gotta be the kayaker. Did you see that yet? Dude's in a kayak off the coast of Chile.
You want 2 well-beaten eggs. Lightly beaten eggs. Teaspoon of parsley. I'm kind of eyeballing the ingredients today.
Do you see you? Why do you see you?
Yeah. Okay, and this is 1 pound 15 ounces of ricotta. You had it with lunch.
I put the milk in here.
I saw. I topped it off and gave it to you for lunch. Yeah. Are you thirsty? How about you have that orange juice? It's kiddo sized.
Milk is kiddo size.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna find something fun to do with the remaining ricotta here. That's about right. 1 pound.
There's a milk jug.
Oh, that's delicious.
My heel hurts.
Does it?
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that, baby.
Where do I put the
Oh, right there. What a problem to have, huh? We have such a full fridge. There you go. Thank
Maybe you can put that stuff under.
Well, you know what? That's going to be used for the lasagna. Oh yeah, I'm going to use that ricotta. That was delicious. I've actually never used it for any dish other than lasagna. What, baby? Oh. So that'll be nice and easily spreadable. Add a little bit more parsley because I think it serves as a nice digestive herb. Oh. Ooh, I'm so glad you enjoy it. Oh, it's. I did. I made one for a pineapple smoothie. Sure. Kiddo is requesting a video for a banana smoothie. I think I can make that happen. All right. I add a little casual. Oh, happy to hear it. What was I gonna say? Oh, the little slotted spoon that I usually use, my large slotted spoon, the mesh on it broke. I didn't have it for very long. It unfortunately wasn't the best quality, but that is my preferred way to scoop meat out or scoop things out that are deep fried. I am noticing myself moving far more or leaning far more to informal with this video. I do hope I get all the ingredients and measurements out there for you to do this recipe in your own kitchen. But yeah, I think I am definitely a home cook, not a chef. I have no training, so pardon me if I blow conventions out of the water. mean no harm. I just know what works for me. I'm not one to usually take shortcuts with anything, but with certain dishes, I've done it enough that I find taking shortcuts. In goes the meat. See how nice and thick that is? Woo! Smash myself. All right. So I am going to go ahead and spoon some of this goodness into the dish. Usually, you'd reserve some of the sauce before you do this step, so you have something in the bottom of the pan. But I'm just not wanting to use an extra dish. Why not? Okay. All right, so all of the pieces are set here. We're going to go about that is a neighbor in the parking lot. Yeah. Someone's got their bass turned up. Yeah. 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 Okay. So, something neat that I found as well. I had it in my mind to make some fresh pasta, but I ended up finding this. I've actually never seen pasta sheets like this, so I thought I'd give it a go. I normally just use the dried lasagna noodles, and I certainly actually have those. I don't cook them before I put them in lasagna because I find that the starchiness is actually a good thing of the uncooked noodle. I would put that in with the layers, and the starchiness that happens does help it to stand up. So, little Aussie. This is different. And what I'm going to certainly have leftovers. And I'm going to make some jiaxi with the leftovers. So, go ahead and have a meat layer. Well, why not? I'll just tuck it up on the sides there. It is just some music from someone in the parking lot. Yeah. Don't need to go super thick on the layers. Trying to remember if I not? I'm going to actually layer it generously with pasta. I think in the past I put the ricotta layer right on top of the meat. But since I have so many noodles, why not? It's about half. I've seen people do this any number of ways. Certainly over the years, I've seen people use cottage cheese in place of the ricotta. I personally like the ricotta myself. It is worth it. Yeah, these sheets are quite nice. I don't like all the waste though. I think I'm going to have to. Actually, I'm not going to build up the sides with noodles because that will just dry them out. So bear with me. I'm going to trim that business. Before I go any further, I'm going to get the heat going at 350. This is actually going to bake for an hour covered, and then remove the cover and bake an additional 15 minutes to crisp up the cheese. Jack and I. Oh yeah, life goes on after the thrill is gone. Oh yeah, life goes on after the thrill is gone. All right. Well, there we go. I didn't count, but quite a few layers happening in there. Go ahead and trim this business. The waist. Pardon my waist there. Gosh, yeah, I should have weighed this puppy. Woo! See these beautiful sheets for another time. I like that. That was worth every penny. When you're alone, so wicked. When you're wanting, when you're down. This is my little blade on my cling film broke off, so make it really quick work. So long as this is fully covered, that's what matters. I watched a documentary about Jim Morrison the other day. It was quite interesting. When I was 17, I had a great opportunity to travel to France, and Spain actually, and I was able to visit Père Lachaise Cimetière Père Lachaise, where it is his final resting place. And it was kind of interesting. People, unfortunately, Paris at the time, I mean, this was the 90s, mid-90s, Parisians were not too keen on the fact that Jim Morrison was buried there because people had defaced tombstones. Père Lachaise cemetery is a remarkable space, and even Chopin is buried there. There was certainly more, but it's been so long I can't fully remember without looking at pictures. But people would direct you. They deface these tombstones to direct you to his gravesite. And there used to be a bust of Jim Morrison on his gravestone, and people would chip off pieces of the bust. And somewhere along the line, before I got there in the mid-90s, they had removed that. And at the time too, there was quite a large group of people who wanted him to be interred elsewhere or moved. I thought that was really interesting. But I didn't learn that in the documentary. I learned that in real life. All right, I did ballpark. Well, the recipe's good. It definitely. Yes, and there's more coming, lovey. It does take you right to the tippy top of this pan. Could have gone a little more generous on the lower layers, but either way. Go. Last but not least, a shredded mozzarella. Half a pound of this business. Wish I was special. This is one of my favorites. Radiohead. Radiohead. They will forever remind me of living in New York City. Forever. It was my sister that turned me onto them. It was amazing. I got to be in my mid-20s before I really got down on them, but I remember being on a ferry listening to Radiohead. I think it was Fake Plastic Trees was the song that was on. As I was on this ferry on my way over to Ellis Island. And just, gosh, you know, sometimes with music, it could just feel like a soundtrack to your life. And it was like, it felt like a movie in real life. Just, you know, as I turned, you know, it paired with the song so beautifully. And I just see the Statue of Liberty just looming. That was an incredible experience. I miss the iPod days. I quite loved the iPod. But I tell you, I have no complaints about Bandcamp. And wireless headphones for that matter. I'd take that any day of the week. Alright, so there we are. Lasagna. I don't know how many pounds that business is, but it's the real deal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover this up and pop it. My pan is ready. Or my oven is all ready to take this business. So I'll put some parchment down. Check some splatters, because that business, the chances that that's going to splatter are quite high. Yeah. Woo! Gosh, that's heavy. All right. Something you can do too, when I use dried noodles, again, I say I don't cook the noodles before I put them in there. And aside from making fresh lasagna sheets, excuse me, in prior lasagnas in the past, I would put a layer of cling film over the top and then foil over the top, and that combination just really cooks it up nicely. I am not going to do that literally because the cheese is butted up right up against this business, as is the sauce. So I'm actually going to tint the foil. It doesn't just stick to the cheese. All that does is prevent the cheese from burning. All right, there it is. Pop this in for an hour. and then remove the foil and cook for another 15 minutes, 10-15 minutes, and then you have a lasagna. But thank you. Let's get this in. It's a two-hander for sure. I think I could feed my whole block with that. But thank you again for joining me. Oh, let's see. Oh, thank you. You know, I'm sorry, I'm just seeing this now. Bumping up the seasonings. Yeah, you know, I don't know why I chose to go so basic with the seasonings originally, and it's just kind of what I've done for years. But you're right, it definitely would add to it. Oh, yes, I do have a kiddo. She's delightful. And, yep, just hanging out watching a little show while I cook. Yeah. But we're doing healthy and well, and I hope the same goes for your family. But thank you again for joining me, and you have a wonderful Sunday.